Good morning, traders. Welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. I'll be your host, and we go through all of the markets that we connect to here using Bookmap, and we'll go through the order flow for you. It is a foundational course or foundational webinar for all markets. And then we have many different streamers. Okay, so I lead the education here. However, we have a team of different traders and streamers, and I can briefly show you that. If you go to bookmap.com, you go to the Bookmap Learning Center, click on the More button and go to the Learning Center here. If you can click here and it will scroll you down the page, and you'll see all the different streamers that we have all day long. And each one might go daily, or you just scroll down a little bit further, you'll see the calendar here, and the entire trading day is basically packed, as you can see. All right, so you can always come into these events for the rest of the trading hours here. You can reach out to me at Bruce at Bookmap on our Discord channel, or at Flow Order on Twitter. Risk disclosure, or general disclosure: all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so let's jump out of this and into the live market here. We just had some data. We're looking at the S&P E-mini futures here, and you can see that in fact we have a short video in YouTube that covers this phenomena here. See how the heat map is telling us something. A minute before 10 o'clock here, and a minute after is telling us something too. This is an edge. You can use Bookmap as an edge in here. So this is the economic release for the what is it here? The IBM, or I'm sorry, ISM, Service Manufacturing PMI numbers here, as well as the Jolt Jobs openings. So the number was a little less than expected for ISM. And then a little less than expected also for Joel's job openings. So what does the data tell us, though? Or what do the traders tell us about the economic release? That's what we want to know. That's what's important here. All right, so we can see that at 10, it kind of initially drove to the downside. This completely failed here and drove to the upside. So this is bullish, and right now looking for a move right up into 46.10 here. Okay, just because it is auctioning up here for the third time. We're looking for buyers up here, and let's see if we can get it. Okay, sellers just starting to come in here. We're looking for a green dots up here, and we had a few. We're looking for a bit more than that for this to drive higher. Right, so it's auctioning actually down here. Yeah, let's see if we can get maybe the buyers to come back in. Here we go. Let's see if we can get that and the move back up here, and then maybe the breakout. Okay. Anyway, we're just reading the auction here, and reading the bigger picture here is that, wow, we came back up here and retested. Hindsight's looking a little bit better here. We see a big red dot here. So it basically kind of failed up here. Yeah, if that is the case, then we're actually looking for the sellers to hit 05 here, and bottom of the range. All right, so that was a little bit of a tough read here. We had a few buyers in here, and it had already some pretty strong buying up in here previously. So due to a bit of buying in here, I was looking for the buyers to hit this 10 level, which we were looking at yesterday as well. As being a high, actually. So yeah, didn't find them. If we zoom out a little bit more, we can see the order flow a lot clearer now, and just trading into 05 right now, and then the nice break here. Okay, interesting. And and they're going to be a huge stop run here to the downside. There we go, 190 in a run. All right, anyway, that's the data release, and there's our kind of update on the order flow. Now let's just see though, this is a stop run here. I wonder if we can get back up above it here and then see the move right back up into where it auctioned up here previously. Okay, this is what we want to understand from this move here, this powerful move in here, which is about it's not many points, it's only a few points, right? So very easily we can find buyers come in back above this after a big stop run, trade it back up into the range. So this would be a false breakdown. Okay, let's look for it here. Now what we're looking for in that, if it's we're gonna go through just that scenario, then we'll go through the trending scenario. Okay, the trending scenario is actually looking pretty good to play out right now. Very little buying in here. We see selling here. Okay, so after this stop run event, looks like sellers are going to take it back down and retest back down into 03 or 02 here. Okay, this is the event here, the stop run event, and then this is the range or the zone within that event. Okay, so anyway, we'll go through more of this in detail here. I'm just kind of going very quickly through it. Let's take our bigger step back and take a look at the bigger picture here and what's going on the daily here on the left, the hourly in the middle, and the 15-minute here on the right. Okay, so the let's see. Yep, good morning, Karma FX and BBM. And good morning, Rob. And Discord. All right, so what do we see in the daily here? Well, pretty tricky. Good morning, Jaja. Pretty tricky here on the daily here. So the price action on the daily. So you can see that this was from yesterday. This candle here, it went up and it retested back up above here. So we were actually trying to look for that activity early on in the day, and then it basically failed and then sold off, and then it at the end of the day it came back up in here, and it did break these highs. We were looking for a test earlier into these areas up here. In fact, we were looking for that area into 10, and then we saw a stop run, and then it turned around and then basically went the other way. Now we saw the whole thing. I mean, I can even show you here on Twitter. I just tweeted about it earlier this morning. So if you want to review or revisit that, here it is. Okay, you can see it's timed at the moment that we saw this kind of move up into this this area here. Yeah, I guess it was around 16 or so. Looking for the stop run and looking for it to, if the scenario was going to be a failure after the stop run, which it did. So then we were looking for the move back down below into these ranges down here, and played out pretty nicely here. Okay, we put in a measured move and everything in here, and then we were looking for, let's just see here, go forward. Yeah, here's the move down into the, here's the stop run up into 16. There's the failure. Here's the sellers come in on the other side, and then looking for it to auction down into these levels here and potentially come down into 05, right? So as we go forward, yeah, we saw that move into 05. Okay, right, and that was the failure up at this, the auction up at this level up here. Okay, and we saw that stop run. So we're going to go through the same scenario here, the same scenario, and I can put this tweet into the chat if you guys like. Maybe you find it helpful. Copy, share, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so if you're new here, you get a feel for it. It goes right to that point in the video. All right. right, so now we're looking for the same thing. Look on the 15-minute chart here, right? So let's see what's unfolded here so far. We still got to go through the bigger picture scenarios here, but this is kind of interesting. So this was the stop run here. Here is the move above it, and this failed, and then the sellers came in. All right, so this is exactly what we look for, is kind of a retest back up into here, and you can see that they did upend those sellers in here just a bit. No stop run though. The big stop run is here, and then this failed here. Okay? This auction up here failed, and the this is where the sellers came back in and then moved it on down lower. Okay, this is a bit of a tricky move in here. Yeah, you know, you could just say like, oh, of course, like, you know, here's our market structure. This is actually where it broke from. True. Is we're just looking at this data in here and then looking for the move down below. Okay, or the move into here and then the move back up into auction here and then potentially up into 10. Okay, so those are the scenarios we were trying to go through before I kind of step back and look at the bigger picture, okay, and what's going on in here. All right, so the bigger picture on the daily is kind of challenging. You can see that we have tested both sides of yesterday's range, right, and we're right in the middle of it. And now we have a big red candle here on the daily, so we see some momentum on the hourly as well as on the just coming in now, this momentum. So looking for a retest back down into bottom of the range here, 97, potentially into some of these wicks here. Okay, so that would be 45.89. Let's see. We got a partial fill of the gap here. You can see the gap, and we see a lot of selling coming in. So we're looking to see for that selling to continue. There's the move down to 97. So we're looking now to down to here in these wicks. So somewhere around 90, let's call it. Okay, there's the move into 97. Okay, high liquidity here. And let's see how it's auctioning down here. Okay, you can see the selling tapering off a little bit. And look at that right here. See how it failed here? Watch. Buyers will come in and they'll move it back up and test some of these areas in here. Okay, the bid looks pretty strong here too. Sellers, wow, a lot of selling pressure. Okay, we don't even get that retest back up to here. Okay, what we're looking for here is due to the transactions in here and the strong bid and a higher low here and no selling here, that sets it up here for looking for the buyers to come up and just retest up in here. It's not much, and you can see they just didn't, and then the sellers came in, and then we're back down to moving down to that is it 90 level, down to 94. All right, so our higher time frame scenarios, we've covered one, which is the continuation of this momentum move. Okay, back down into about 90. And the other one though is like maybe we just dip below here, fail, and come back into the range. Okay, so we'll look for that one as well. And where might it go? Probably back to the figure here. The first stop would be here at 97, where it just broke down from. The next move would probably be about, you know, the figure, and you know, it could come back up into these wicks up in here. Okay, that's the opposite scenario here. Okay, back down to 94. put a little structure on this trend here. Strong trend. And it is breaking. It is auctioning up here. Back to 97. And then 4,600 is up here. Figure. This is where we were looking for that pullback earlier. And then the figure is up here. Okay, interesting auction up here around this 97 level. Still, we're finding some buyers up in here. Okay, sellers take it back down, but I'm actually looking here. Okay, the bid is looking good here, from 95 up to 96.5. Now they may pull, but they're showing activity here. Question is, what do the aggressors think of it? Do they want it? Do they trade into it? Do they trade through it? We're getting our answer here. So yeah, then we know that there's some selling pressure in here. Okay, down to 94. Can they trade into it and through it here? Yep, they sure can. There's going to be a stop run as well. Okay, we're still looking for our 90 level here. I mean, that was the kind of bigger target here, right? The swing low is around 88.5 on the 15-minute here, and on the hourly. Okay, so maybe it's a pretty strong move here. So yeah, I would look for this to continue unless we see something really big in the order flow here. There's, high liquidity here at 90 and 91.5. Any questions here? Let's see. Do you use the Dome Pro? No, not really. I'm not much of a Dome trader, BBM. We have an excellent Dome though. Let me show it to you. We have actually two domes. One is aligned with the data, which is, this dome is excellent. Don't discount this dome at all. It's just not free floating. It is within Bookmap. Right, so in fact, let me open up. I'm going to open up a if you guys, I'm going to demo a few different things in here. First thing to demo here is the duplicate symbols. Right, so multiple symbols in here that you can do now. Developers found a way to do this, which is excellent. It's pretty creative. So that what you can do here is, let me find it. Okay, let's add one. Let's add it here. Let's not add it. Let's manage it. Okay. And then you can see Bookmap Connect here, and then Bookmap add-ons here. Okay, we're going to go there. Instrument copy this one. So I already have it. Just couldn't see it in here. Here it is. All right, so I'm just going to select it here. And you can create it here. You can also just move over to your plus tab here, click on it, and go to Rhythmic, CME, and we're going to look at ES, right? And we'll look back period of 1 hour. We'll click OK, and then it pops up. You already are subscribed to this. Do you want to do a copy of it? I want to say yes, OK. Right, and then here it is here, and see how let's just drag and drop it over here next to our other ES. And it says, this one's here says ESU 3.cme or at Rhythmic, and this one says ESU3 at copy. Okay, so you know this is a copy. All right, and then we're going to inherit chart settings from our other ES chart here. Okay, and then we got the same chart. Okay, I don't know why it shows candles, but it does. Okay, and stops and icebergs will not work on this. Right, so that is one drawback. Okay, MBO data will not work on this. So we'll look at CVD. All right, and why I did all of that was to show you that, so you guys know that you can make duplicate symbols, and then you can zoom out more, zoom in less, whatever one you want. And then, oh, I'm sorry, this was for the N. That's for the NQ. This is our ES. Go. Okay. All right, so there's our ES. And stops and icebergs actually are working. Okay, but it doesn't have the, that's right, it doesn't have the backfill data, right? So it's starting afresh. Right, that's the drawback here. It will display it, but it starts, as you can see, from when we opened it here. Right. All right. So I went through all of that just so I can show you this. Let's hide all these columns here, and then we're going to insert here. We're going to go down to Trading Dome, and then we're going to add the default Dome columns. Right. That adds a bunch in here. That's why I did that. Hid all the rest of them here. Okay, so we're going to hide also the volume profile. You need the buy and sell in here for managing your trades. You can manage it right on the Dome. Okay, you've got the bid, the depth of the bid, you got the price ladder, you've got the ask, and you also have this trades counter here, right? Or last trade, I'm sorry. Maybe you don't want to look at that. You can also hide that, right? Like I said, this is an excellent Dome. It has all sorts of functionality that you can add in here. If you want to add a volume column in here, no problem. And you can duplicate any kind of configurable Dome that is out there. Okay, so just note that, and don't discount that. If you want to look at a Dome that is aligned with the heat map. All right, now the Dome Pro, let's go and open that here. All right, it's right here. I'll select it, and then see how this pops up. A Dome here, very professional Dome, and it's showing the copy as well. Showing the 6E. All right. Showing all of them. All right, there we go. It's gold. Show the Dome for the ES. Dome Pro. Okay, enable, done. All right, there it is. So you can see that this is free floating and it is not aligned with the heat map. All right, so for you Dome traders, it's great. You've got a professional grade Dome now that is on par with any other product out there. Right? So I know a lot of traders use the Dome, so you've got it here. All right, and I don't know if that answers any of your questions. BBM. No discounts, Farzad, at the moment. Okay. All right, so let's just take a look here. We never got down to 90. We've been going sideways here since. Okay, on low volume. You can see the big strong move to the downside. And then this is where we look at, like, who's in control on some of these moves, and we know sellers are clearly, right? So we're coming up, and you can see buyers testing the kind of swing here and being able to auction back up above it. Okay, let's see if it fails and comes back into the range. Right. Bounce off of, maybe it bounces off of the high volume node. Nope. Hard read in the order flow at this very moment. There's not much, the buyers are down here, 92 3/4, 90, 91 and a half, 90, whatever. The sellers are up here, 97, 98, and 99. Okay. And yeah, just a bit of an auction and a break above here. Okay, here's our higher low. All right, so then let's just look and see then, since it did auction up here, let's see, there's our book imbalance, looking for buyers here. Okay, and if we get our buyers here, we should be able to come back up and retest these areas here. Okay, we found some buyers. Okay, right into an iceberg. All right, now again, buyers. Okay, buyers should be able to carry this higher up into probably this 90, 96 and a half, 97. I don't like that it's dark underneath here, but we do see the buying. Okay, and what I mean by dark underneath here is there's no liquidity following up underneath it. Okay, this is kind of like a volume gap here, or liquidity gap in here. Okay, so it doesn't take a lot of selling to kind of have price stream back down there. So we got the move up in the 96, and it kind of retested up here. 6 transacted up here at the top. That was it. All right, so we can draw another conclusion here too. We did auction back up here, and we're auctioning back up here again. All right. So this is where we get a bit more buying, and we should get the break, 97, 98. Maybe 99. Let's just zoom out a little bit more. Yeah, I like it up here around this 98 level. Okay, let's see the breakout here. Okay. Now again, this is not a trading strategy. Well, there is a trading strategy wrapped up in it here. We're just reading the order flow and looking for the measured or the move here to unfold. Okay. How can that be? How can this be helpful though? We'll tie it back into a trading strategy, and look for something. So we're looking for something high probability. What we were just reading up here was the auction process. Okay, so we were originally looking for that move. Well, here's where the sellers came in and moved it. This was where we saw the auction up here, came back down, retested here, made a higher low, meaning that read this auction down here with just the transactions and the order book. This is how you can gain an edge, right? So we see some buying here, not selling. We see very little selling in here. We see buying coming in. That's how they're able to come up here and trade back up to here. And they had more buying pressure to trade back up to the swing here and above into this liquidity up here. Okay, so that's how that can unfold. Now it made a higher low here, or a higher high, I'm sorry, in this little range. After this move, we got a really steep pullback all the way back down to where those buyers came in here, and this auction really kind of ran to the upside. Now, we want to read down in this area here what happens. And nothing happened here. No sellers came in to hit the bid lower here. That's what we're reading in here, and we know that there was buying in here. Okay, so we see a bit more buying coming in. That's where we're reading it in here for a retest back up into this area here. Okay, and that's what we were looking for. Okay, so again, I'm going through a process in here, and we will wrap a trading strategy around this. Okay, but it's important to identify these pieces first. And in fact, that's what we're doing in the Bookmap Junior Academy and in the Academy, if you guys are interested in that. All right, so I'll show you where that is. You got to go to bookmap.com/academy. And you can read the details in here. But this is a pretty nice offering for joining a community, getting feedback on some of your trading, as well as moving your way on up, getting Bookmap for free, and then potentially getting a lot more, becoming a coach, becoming a streamer, like Tom B or Doug or Moby. All right, so yeah, I'll put this in the chat for you if you're interested in signing up for that. Farzad, what package do you need to buy if you want to see futures and stocks? How much would it cost? Well, you can get one for $49.95 monthly. All right. And that's the Bookmap Global version. You can get the Bookmap Global Plus for $99 a month. Okay, spoiler alert. It drops super low. I mean, like super low, dude. Watching now. Okay. Well, we'll watch the order flow. We're just gonna let the participants tell us here. Okay. I don't know how you're able to read that. Like, is my data just completely behind here? You know, we don't know. We're gonna let the participants tell us in here. And try to give us the best insight that we can. So anyway, we're just going through this process in here. Okay, and we're reading this auction in here, and we came up with, you know, conclusion that no sellers were able to drop this lower, and they even had no one on the bid until a bit lower here. They just didn't do it. And then you see the bid up here. You see more buyers right into an iceberg. We noted that in real time, and a stop run here. But it pulled back a little bit and went back up, retested, auctioned up here, auctioned again up here. We're looking for the move and the break. Okay, that they're telling us that they're buying up here. Okay, there was a caveat in here that we talked about, was it's kind of dark in here, and it's easy for sellers to drive it back down here. Okay, that's all. That's all we're going through. Now, how do you put this into action? All right. So there's many ways to look at it in here. If you believe in this move in here, in this auction up above into this liquidity here, because it is pretty consistent buying. See how consistent it is in here? Well, then this is your pullback opportunity here. Okay, or even here. Okay, now there's always risk. You cannot avoid risk in the trade. It's just how much do you have to risk and what is your trading style or strategy. Obviously, points wise, hindsight is easy. You're risking very little points wise here. Okay, but this is really dangerous stuff in here. Very easily, and we noted sellers could come in here and drive it back down into 90 very, very quickly, right? And all of these buyers here would be the stop run to the downside, because this is a stop run to the upside here. So anyway, and then also in here, same concepts, same idea. If you're looking for your pullback and you're looking for this to move up into here, we don't know, right? That's the risk. Okay, now we get the auction up here, we get it again and again. Now your risk is a lot less. Okay, that there's buying activity in here. It would be better to see the order book when we get a little slight, move in the order book underneath here, followed by buyers. Okay, now that's less risk in terms of the probability of it working. However, you're getting in up in this area up in here, right? So you're not getting much out of it, but it is higher probability. All right. So let's see here. We came all the way back up in here, 4,600 the figure, and now the auction's starting to fail up here. Yeah, my data is live, Karma FX. I don't. So what price do you see the ES right now? I mean, this is crazy to me. I mean, your move is probably just about to unfold if that's what I would agree with you that there's a potential for a really big drop here. Farzad, I would suggest that you get the data for futures. Just get it for CME if you're trading stock indexes and maybe currency futures. So and it's 39 bucks. Okay, so 40 bucks, 50 bucks, so $90. You're up and running with Bookmap with high quality data. That would be the way to go. Oh, okay. Thanks, Mark. So like 45.77. Really? Okay. I don't see it. But yeah. And 80, I see liquidity down here around 80. But that's about it. There's a little bit of a delay here in YouTube. It's not much, about 3 or 4 seconds. That's about it though. I don't know, Karma FX. I don't know. I'm looking right at it. You might be looking at a different contract. Maybe that's it. Nostradamus. All right. Well, hey, let's keep it in the back of our mind here, and let's look for it. I am curious if we have Nostradamus on our hands here. So let's go back up here, read the auction back up into this area here. And there's something else I want to cover in here, which is happening, which is a distribution pattern. Okay, so it failed up here. I am looking for sellers now to trade it to here, 97, and then also potentially break it into 96.5 here, or even just 96. Okay, I'm really happy that Slowdown actually pointed to this, and I'll go back and find it here in Discord. I didn't get to it yesterday. We're going to talk a little bit about the Wyckoff, all right? Really nice stuff in here. So here's strong, impulsive move. Buyers clearly in control. This is the NQ, okay, from yesterday. And then we see the really back and forth in here. This is your, distribution pattern, basically. All right, but I don't know. I guess Wyckoff talks about springs. It was more like a continuation. Like you get this kind of basically accumulation and distribution, but you get the continuation move to the upside here, which then it failed, I believe. But I don't know. Did it reach up here? 88, 85 slow down. But anyway, yeah, I mean, just really nicely documented in here. I mean, beautifully done. It doesn't get much clearer. You know, here's you can see that here's the retest and re-auction here, right? Then look at the buying coming in, and it actually kind of failed up here, comes back down again, but it never makes it down again lower, right? This is your higher low. Look at the buyers come streaming back in again. Look for it to come back up here. Look for that. And just up to here, okay? It did it again here. Okay, sellers came in. You can even see a little double top in here. And let me just get to it here. It's really great stuff, right? So a little double top in here. See how the auction failed here again? See that? Look for the sellers. But the bigger structure in a smaller time frame, the bigger structure here is that we made a higher low, buyers again. Back up here, struggling buyers. Okay, we saw exactly the same thing just minutes ago in the live market. So this is how you get the breakout. All right. So how you want to manage your risk is up to you. Look for it has to fit your profile, your risk profile in here. I mean, this might be a really good area as he points out, potential longs. Okay, really good areas in here you can work into this trade here. Take some off, keep some on, keep your stop down here. Even if you get hit down here, you still made money. Okay, or maybe you made just a little bit of money or break even, whatever, but you captured this, and you could have even gotten back in here and scaled into it here. Okay, and then look for areas of high liquidity. Even this kind of beautiful potential pullback and then continuation here as he's illustrating. All right, and what I wanted to mention though was about Wyckoff, and this was kind of accumulation or reaccumulation period, basically. Okay, this is where CVD can help you. This is where understanding just the overall tone of the structure in here can help you to figure out that in the auction process as well, can help you figure out that this is going to fail, and then we're looking for the move higher. Right now, what I wanted to talk about up in here was the so we got our impulse kind of move in here, we got a pullback, we got continuation here. Now understand this in the structure here, this is a pullback. Okay, why is this a pullback? Because there's not another retest in here. There's no kind of accumulation or distribution pattern in here. It just tested here and went back up. Now though, you're getting back and forth. Okay, now look at this. This has got to be a stop run. It is. Okay, up here. Now we have the potential for the Nostradamus move. Okay, so it is auctioned down here a few times. Looking for sellers down here. Let's see if we can get it, and then we're looking for a break. There's a bit of buying here, not much. Okay, yeah, a little bit more. All right, watch this bottom edge. 97.5 here is what we're watching. There's our exhaustion. Okay, if we get the buying or the selling here to really start to pick up, we're looking for the break. Okay, 97.5, and that's the scenario here. Guys, is this making sense? I'm rattling through stuff rather quickly, rattling through a setup rather quickly, trying to get back to the live market here as well. Okay, I can go back and review. Just let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so this is scenario number one we're looking for. Okay, 97.5 sellers. Okay, we're looking also for the order flow in the book here to help us out. Okay, what would be even better is even a trap up here. Okay, we may get that too. We may see buyers come back in, back up into here, 4,600. It fails, comes back down. We get our sellers here at 97.5, and then the big drop, okay, into the Nostradamus level of 77. All right, Rob. It eventually failed yesterday. Okay, so but did your move work out the with your arrows there? All right, here's some exhaustion. Okay, not quite at 97.5, and we didn't get the sellers we're looking for yet. Let's see if we get them here. I would actually feel more comfortable, to be honest, to see buying up here and then rejection and then selling coming in back down at the bottom of the range here. Okay, because then I know that these guys are going to have to cover when they get pushed, when they get squeezed here. Okay, excellent. Way to go, slow down. All right, so it didn't quite pay out, but you managed your trade well and made some money. All right, guys, so here we got a little bit of an auction up here. Here's our failure. Here's our 97.5. Doesn't look very convincing, though. We got to get a lot more selling than that, right? We're looking at this whole edge down here, and we want to see it build out with sellers at the bottom edge here. All right, so we're still staying away, and it's just back and forth in here. We just noted this in here was pretty nice, right? Buyers, lack of buyers, failed, came back down. Okay, and we're still looking for it. Okay, but we're not, we weren't getting involved in here. We're just still waiting and watching here, right? Keeping ourselves out of trouble. Okay, now this is actually kind of what we were hoping for. And then now the failure here of this buying breakout, and then back into the range, and then the move lower. Okay, stop run, failure, back into. Now, what's even nice about these kinds of moves that we saw yesterday, in fact, was that you can even look for the break down here. Well, if you get exhaustion up here, you can even trade it back down to here, and then look for the break here. See, there's multiple areas you can even potentially look for entries in here. Okay, so one would be the failure up here, and you're looking for the trade back down to the figure here. And then you're looking for that break back down into the bottom of the range here at our 97.5. Right, so you could already pocket like 4 points there. And then still hold for the bigger move that we were initially looking for to the downside. Okay, not unfolding though at all. Not yet. Okay, Karma FX. Yeah. I mean, I'm curious. I think you might have been on a different a different month or something. I'm curious. Let's just add it in here. Got the next contract, which is the Z contract, right? Yeah. Well, we're down at 53 on that. Went all the way back down to 44. You guys, you can see. I mean, look how I think it's. I don't know. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. Obviously, we're not getting a lot of transactions here on this. You can see it's very thin. But I mean, look at the order book. Historically, the heat map in here. I mean, it's telling you that this is not very active. Okay, this is full depth of market. Look at ones and twos up here, right? Contracts. so little that it doesn't even show up in the heat map. Here we got 105 in here, one player, obviously hedging. You can see 105, 103. So they got 100 lot in here. It's going back and forth. Anyway, this is one of the beauties of Bookmap is just being able to, if you hear these concepts in the market, and in a very thin market, you can see this. Look at these. I mean, it's clear as day that this is an algo here, and there's another one even further out. This is their activity in here, and you can see it played out over time. Right? When there's less liquidity, the larger players really stick out. Okay, so a lot of times pre-market, you can see the spoofs and other things. Post-market, you can see them better than you can during the regular trading hours. Map just shows that stuff really well. This is why I always want to cover the other scenario in here. So we were really looking keenly at this kind of bottom edge in here. The other scenario has played out completely here. Buyers did come in, it did auction back up in here, and then now we're looking for the break up into 03, 04, right? Because it is auctioning here again. Yeah, what had ended up happening was they pulled away from this. The traders were able to pull away from this and auction back in here, as you can see. Here's our retest here, and this is a pullback again, and you can see it failed. Well, a pullback doesn't really fail. It pulled back and it went back into the range in here. This is where it started to pick up again to trade up to the top of the range, and then you can see 03 transacted. That was as far as it got. I thought we'd get 03.5, 4 in this, because you can see here buying, nice buying in here. Yeah, sorry, Karma FX. I don't mean to. I'm not poking fun, but I really like the Nostradamus level. I might have to hold on to that one. That was from Alexander. Okay. Our Nostradamus levels. All right. Well, slowing down a little bit in here. Tough skin. Okay, no problem. Excellent. Yeah, the Nostradamus levels was yeah, I'm not sure where that 77 came from, but there is liquidity down here at 80 though. And let's take a look at it in the bigger picture too. Like well, we were reading that big move down into here, and really we're really looking for 90 to transact, and you can see what happened here. I mean, this is obviously hindsight. Now here we've traded above this little swing. See the 15-minute swing here at 02, went above it. Now it's rejecting though. All right, so let's look at the order flow then. Okay. And I mean the hourly, the daily, like there is not telling us much at all. This is the best thing we can read here is this swing to 02 and the failure. And now we have high liquidity in here. Okay, here's the failed auction up in here. Here's our sellers here. It is auctioning. So sellers should be able to drive it to below the figure here. Let's look for it. Back down into 99. So swing down here at 99.5. Okay. And then that whole idea that we were looking at, same concept that we were looking at yesterday, here's the stop run back up here. And then let's look for the potential, like yesterday, for the failure here up in here, and then the move back down into here, and then the potential move back down into 90. All right, so same idea. Sellers just, you know, dominated here on the way down. Nice little distribution pattern up in here. So it's got that going for it as well. Here's our exhaustion, looking for sellers here at 4,600 and looking for the drop. All right. We got our exhaustion, looking for the sellers. Okay, now, just in case, this is where, like, you know, not because I have the line here, but this is where those buyers started to come in, right? So this is where you can start to, you know, take a partial profit, manage your trade here. It's, you know, look, it's not much, right? Now, bigger picture, maybe, you know, if you're trading on a higher time frame, you're looking for a much bigger move. Well, maybe your partial profit's down here, you know, the bottom of this range in here. Okay, thanks, Karma FX. Let's go over to Discord. Any questions here? It was SPX. Okay, thanks, Bo. There we go. Got it. Okay, so is this going to turn into our pullback trade here, or are we coming back up into the range? Well, you see the buying here pop up above. It did auction here again as well, but looking for sellers here around 99. And then maybe we can get our continuation move. Okay, there's our exhaustion. Let's see if we get sellers here. No. No selling. Right, there's exhaustion here and here. So nothing, doing nothing here. Right. So partial profit potentially taken down here. As again, these are not trade, it's not a trading room in here. Just covering how you can read the order flow, and then also how you can start to look for managing your trading activity within here. Okay, so now let's see, do we get a little stop run up here? Not much. Okay, seller's still in control from this point on. So look for the auction up here, or we're looking for the auction down here. Very tight little range in here. All right, so a few buyers, a few more. More. All right. Buyers should be able to take a little bit higher here, back up into 02. It's not much, but you know, that's what we're reading in here. Okay, actually we're gonna look at the opposite scenario here. This is the trap. Now the seller's got it. Yeah, so this failed actually above. So it peeked its head above, it traded up here, sellers got it. This is where we can get the fuel to the downside, right? Now we can look for our move back down into 98 and continue here, right? Sorry about that, guys. It was more like reading the auction, and it's like, yeah, okay, well, maybe they can get back up into 02. It failed. We got sellers in here. Now this is the fuel. We're looking for a stop run here. It's not. The stop run is going to happen down below here with these guys, okay, having to exit. All right, a little bit more at 98, and let's see the drop. Continuation, 96, maybe 95, maybe 93, maybe 90. That's what we were looking for earlier. Okay, see how this is turning into a bigger distribution now. Distribution pattern. Okay, you can even look at shoulder, head, shoulder. Right, it evolved over time. So here's our big, strong, impulsive move, and then we had a kind of reversal pattern in here, evolve over time, and then we're looking for continuation. Still get a bit of a pullback here. Back up into these areas here. Test back to the figure. Okay, but I'm looking for the sellers down here and then the push lower. All right, slow down. Let's see what you got. You got a few more images here. Now you have a reversal checklist. Great. Beautiful. Yep. Yeah, kind of a tough read in here. I mean, the liquidity added, but down here though, the liquidity on the bid in here is looking better. Yeah, I like that. Test the structure. Okay, and then the R. Yeah. O4. O4 still could trade. I mean, this might fail in here. I'm still seeing more sellers than buyers here, but so I'm looking for more sellers to drive it lower. Or we can look at our cumulative volume delta. Yeah, there's more sellers in here than there are buyers. Okay, so looking right here, right now, 98.5 sellers. There they are. All right, so that now they should be able to drive it back down into the low 97.5, and then the potential break of that level into 96 and 95 here. All right, so the sellers have got the power here. It's a nice little ledge in here in your profile, and looking for a catastrophic break here into this 96, 95. Let's see it. See it, sellers. Is there a big iceberg buying this or what? No. Just got some game playing here at the bottom of the level here. Yeah, it's just not quite enough in here. So retesting back up above, looking again for a failed auction up here, and then a retest back down below here. Okay, the other side of the coin though, let's cover that, because what if this fails down here? So this is where all of this selling in here is going to be upended, right? And then what we're looking for in the opposite auction is buying up in here. Okay, which may happen, and then slow down. You might get your move into your 04, because there's going to be a lot of sellers in here. They're going to really fuel that move up into here. All right, so this is where I'm looking for sellers to take controls below 98 here. Right, because we got this little structure here, this little structure here. So this is where we're looking for the sellers to take control. You threw the towel in at 02. Yeah, pretty smart. Yeah, I mean, you can see like it's still game here. You know, like we were just mentioning, like, you know, there's a lot of selling in here that they failed to take it lower. So watch out. You know, this is where they'll, on the other side of these ranges here, that's where they become the targets here. They are the fuel. You know, and again, we don't know. However, all of this buying in here, there's some stop runs in here, but all of this buying in here as well, like once we get down below here and the sellers take control, it has room to go at that point. Right, so then our fuel is up in here. And it failed up here at this swing. So, and here we go. So let's see if we can get those sellers right here at 98. Big red dot and looking for follow through. No, we don't want to see an iceberg here. There's two, only two, and it fully executed, so that's not much. No commitment yet. There's some exhaustion up in here. A little more selling here at 98.9. Let's see if we can get that. And move back down to 98 and then the continuation. There we go. All right, so now let's see these sellers move it a bit lower into our 98. They got it. If they can transact down here, large transaction at 98, they got it. There we go. Okay, right. So this is what we were looking for before. Now it looks, you know, potentially it looks even better because we got a lot of fuel here. There's our transactions. So looking for the 95 now. Nice stop run. Okay, so we got that going for us. Stop runs. Stops being hit. Oh yeah, I want to show you something with the stops and icebergs on chart. Why you don't see the stop runs or stops being hit in here. Just a second though. Let's just see if we can get our follow through here. And pull back to where it dropped from, 98. And let's see if it can fail up here and then come back down and get the follow through to the downside. So looks good so far. So pull back so far. Now we need our sellers to drive it through. Okay, 95.50 transacted. That was about it so far. You know, there's something that let's just take a look back here. I mean, we were looking for this continuation in 95, but this is where I'm kind of giving up on it a little bit. You know, I'm still looking for it to unfold, but let's look at the volume within this whole kind of structure in here. You know, it's not the clearest. You know, over in here, it looked much clearer to me than it does in here, to be honest. Okay, this looks okay. This is looking a little bit better now. But there's something that, you know, to make a distinction. Okay, I mean, it's doing what we thought it would do, 95. But it really kind of fought it on the way down. And here's why. Let's take a look at the volume. Okay, typically in these kinds of moves, the volume on the way down should just completely dominate. And then, like right in this little area in here, let's take a look at it. So we're looking for strong impulsive move here by sellers. We were right here watching it, right? In fact, we're going to cover a trading strategy in just a minute about that in here. Okay, but we were looking right at it, and we were looking for the move down to 97 and then the continuation to 95. But look at this move in here. The volume is not that big on the sell side. And in fact, it really starts to pick up down here. Like, we want to see it consistent all the way through. So instead, we got this kind of steep pullback to where it dropped from up in here at 98. And look at the buying in here. It's not bad. I mean, so this in here, look at the bars, look at the dots and the size and the color. See how that kind of like gives us, it doesn't really tell us clearly that the sellers are in control in here. Okay, does that make sense? And then we can see that, well, we got what we wanted. More selling did come in, and it really picked up down here, but it's down here. Again, not that strong, consistent move we're looking for. Okay, and then it did it again down here, and it hit the 95. However, again, it's just down in here is where that big selling really. This is a little bit better in here, a little bit better, a little more consistency, but it's not that great either. All right, so you know, that's where like you can see that it kind of makes sense in the auction here, the back and forth of this move, right? Whereas we're looking for a clean, clear, swift move down, heavy selling, impulse move down into 95 and then potentially lower, 93, etc. Let's see, we actually we're starting to see something here now unfolding here. So yeah, maybe we'll get that now. Let's see. It's looking pretty good. That's some pretty strong selling, bringing it right back down here to that strong selling previously. All right, so now it looks better now for our strong impulsive selling move into 93, 91, and 90. Okay, so this looks, see how this looks much better in here, right? So therefore we're looking for the continuation. So anyway, that's what we're kind of looking for in these moves. You know, we'll go over the trading strategy in here now, but and you know, this is where like equally strong selling coming right back, or buying coming right back in, right? It's going to retest back up into here. So there is still some back and forth, even though we got strong selling yet again in here. Right? However, we're looking at this relative volume in here. It's been more selling all the way through here than there is buying. Even on this pullback, there's some pretty strong buying right in here. You can see the volumes bar in here. However, it's even bigger on the selling. Okay, so there's still more selling in here. Right? I was not expecting this kind of fight here again by the buyers. but there's still more selling in here, so I'm still looking for it to go into these lower levels here. All right, well, anyway, let's abandon this right now, because they keep battling back and forth in here, and this is where, this is as much as we know. However, there could be massive buying that comes in here and upends this whole process in here. All right, so we've seen it many times, and we want to, if we see that and we don't know, it's time to scratch the trade. All right, but let's go through this process in here, because I think this will be helpful. Right, so we were looking for in here the continuation into 95. Didn't get it. It pulled away. We saw the buyers come back in here. We saw the auction up in here, and then in here it started to auction up a bit above too. I thought so. Kind of thought that maybe we get the move in this kind of 01 liquidity up here. This failed, and we see the selling coming in. This is where we got some good insight in here. Okay, we're looking for sellers here. We didn't get them here, but we got really good exhaustion here. So once we and then we see even here sellers, buyers come back, exhaustion again. This is where 98.5, we can look to try to take it back down to 97, and you can take some off, but you can continue with the trade as well to hold it. I think we even said in here we could even look for it, and you can even look for a move to 98, hold it, or even take some off on a very, I know it's a really small time frame, but this will work on higher time frames. And then you got the exhaustion here, retest, no buying here. It fails. We're looking for our sellers here. We got them. We're looking for the move lower. We got it, and we're looking for the move here. And at this point, that's where we're looking for the sellers to continue. We just got this back and forth in here that I just went through. My point is, though, with your strategies and looking at this in here, once you start to see these, we're looking for it down in here. We didn't get it, but we can trade it back down to here. Take some off and look for the continuation. All right, so you're going with the trend on a kind of a bigger pullback in here, so you're going to get a better entry, and you can trade it back down to what you're looking for the move. All right, so there's a couple of things. This is exactly what we covered yesterday as well. All right, so we're seeing the same kind of price action and order flow. Okay, and again, sellers mounting again here, pretty hard. Right? So still in play till we see something different. Guys, same idea, even on a very small time frame in here. Look, okay, this is where the sellers came in. This is where they are in control. Here's the pullback, and then look at the order flow in here, or the transactions in here. Okay, the order book didn't really help us too much. Auctioned, very little though, and then it pulled back. We see a little bit of selling. Auctioned, nothing here, nothing. Selling, looking for it to continue on. It fought it, came back in again. More selling though, more selling. Looking for that continuation here. And right when I say that in here, they're getting upended. Okay, and we got order book on our side now too for the buyers. Okay, well, okay, if that is the scenario, then if that is the scenario, this is tricky in here, because this should take it down in here, right? But we're looking now, it has to auction up in here. We got the order, we got a strong bid. All right, so now buyers can take it up back up to 98. Okay, just 98 for starters. Okay, then it's back up into 99.5 or 99 up here, and then 01. Okay, we can get a real powerful move here. And the reason being is we noticed it, all this back and forth in here. Okay, and then this is the hook here, and we were actually looking for the move back down into 93, and then we come to the current market and it's like, whoa, okay, we got a strong bid. They are auctioning here. We are looking for the break, and then looking for it to test back up into these previous levels here or 01. All right, and we should see the stops being triggered on the way back up. Tricky stuff in here. However, we noted that this back and forth in here, even from way back up in here, did not look so good. This is where it started to look better, I thought. Stronger impulsive move here, but then equally, well, not quite equally, still looking for more to the downside here. This is where it's upended though. Okay, well, that's the way it played out. Right. However, when you see these moves as well, you can react to it, and look for taking the scratch on this, and then you can look for the order flow move on up into this liquidity, as we had just mentioned here. Okay, I know that's hard to do. It's really hard as a trader, just to flip your idea and look for the opposite scenario here. Okay, but anyway, or maybe you're sitting on the sidelines and just wait for this trade to go through or not work here on that sell side, and you're looking for those buyers, because you already know that throughout this whole area here, except for maybe right here, there's some buying pressure that continues to retest back up into these areas. Pilar, you're welcome. Just joined today. Okay, excellent. The big bubbles show a cluster of buyers. Guys, hit the like button if you can. We're gonna it goes through some Q&A here, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Okay, so get to the questions in. Okay, on. Here it is. Yeah, I think it was smart what you did. Slow down, just throw the towel in. I mean, if it's not making sense, like, and you're looking for that follow through, just that's when, like, get out, right? You have to understand what's going on, or what you have to understand what you're looking for. You have to know your edge. If you don't know, then it's a gamble. All right, let me see a few more questions in here. Sebastian, its relative volume that I'm talking about, which, like I said, is you can see how it upended here on the relative volume, is clearly now on the buy side, right? Well, before any of that happened, though, yeah, we weren't too clear on the sell side in here. We were saying, yeah, we're looking for it, we're getting it only at the bottom edges though, and then we're seeing these buyers come in here, and then we like this move here on the sell side. That one looked the best, but we still saw buyers still fight it in here, in here, and then we had this, we had our exhaustion, we had our sellers, we had this here on the sell side, and this is where we look for the drop, and out of the blue, like, we did have a kind of a some exhaustion in here, but the buyers really stepped up in here, so they can trade it back up into the top of this, which is, there's not a whole lot going on in here up at this level here, but there is now. Okay, up in here, and you got a very strong bid as well. Okay, so that's where you know that this can be a really nice kind of stop move to the upside, and that relative volume on the buy side is much stronger. Okay, and these are the kind of impulse moves that you look for, right? You look for that strong, consistent buying as well as the move. Okay, let's look at our relative volume now in here. So I can't really answer the question. The question is, the answer is in context and the relationship here between the volume of buyers and sellers. Okay, so look at it now here. Now we are below all of that buying in here, and we see the selling coming in. Okay, well, not below at all. There's still some in here, right? This is where it initiated, right here at 95.5. So what can we gather from this in here? Not much. I mean, this is very strong buying impulse move, and then pretty decent selling on the way back down as well, right? So who's in control in here? Don't really know. All right, so we saw some good moves. Went over some different ways of managing potentially, looking at this and how to kind of reduce some risk along the way in real time. Okay. It's not a trading room though. It's not it's not advice. It's not a recommendation. Okay, we're over our time, George. We'll take a quick look at maybe the wire is what you want to look at. Don't have data for it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not getting much out of it here. Looks like I don't have aggregate data for it. Huge spread. Very, very thin stock. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty high priced, but look at the amount of shares. 100, 100's high liquidity. 250's high liquidity. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if this is really tradable. Anyway, yeah, it's kind of all over the place in here. It's kind of what I see. I mean, just massive spreads in here. Well, a couple bucks. Anyway, let's jump back to that ES. All right, guys. Well, yeah, let's answered all your questions in here. The bid is still showing some interest in here. Let's look at our bigger picture as well. The selling is still really strong on this impulsive move to the downside. This has been a pullback. We recognize this as kind of a complex pullback or reversal pattern within this big strong sell move here. And then here the buyers really try to upend it. So it kind of leaves us off as like, I don't know. I mean, we got to wait and get more information and see who's going to try to take control at some of these areas in here. Okay, it's really not this is kind of really odd move here on that buy side. We'd look for the move to the bottom of the range in this 92 or 90 level here due to this kind of reversal pattern in here. Okay, and it would be a measured move as well. But yeah, all of a sudden out of the blue, we get this buying. So it's kind of odd. Who cares about the patterns? It's just about the order flow again. And this is kind of sticking out here, this buying that came in. For CL and GC, do I consider initial balance the same time lapse as ES and NQ? I don't really trade the initial balance. Okay, so I don't have any sort of kind of insight or study on that. But crude opens at 9 a.m. East Coast time. So yeah, the concept is the first hour of trading. So the data should be on the first hour. And what you're looking for is very similar to some of these powerful moves in here, like this one in here. So it's an event. And, if this was an initial balance, well, this is your range. Okay? And we know that everything has happened within that range so far. Okay, and there's been a lot of selling within that range too here. And where does that leave us off? Well, we don't know. We're looking for maybe more buying up in this level, or we can read even more kind of smaller structural areas here, and see how the buying came back up and broke out here. Okay, but now we can also read, so we're trading back down here now. Now we can also read the potential break of that, and then right back down here again. Okay, I kind of like it because I see buying here, lack of, and lack of again, sellers. Okay, so now I'm looking to see if we can get the sellers to try to break it back down into 96. All right, so you can look at these smaller ranges in here and the behavior of the traders in here to give you the insights to where price might go to the top edge or bottom edge, and then the potential break of that in the bigger time frame. All right, it's fractal. You can do this in Bookmap. You can really zoom in here to these levels, and that's where you can get the insight here. All right, so try getting that kind of insight from something like this. You just don't know. Okay, yeah, one more question here. Lar. Yeah, let me pop this out as well, and then we'll take a look at it. Let me answer your question. Maybe it's easier here in Discord. All right, let's try that. And doesn't push through. Okay, so we're talking about these clusters of buyers and sellers, and when a big cluster of them appears and it doesn't push through the direction, etc. What are you missing in here? Well, yeah, I mean, that's where we were talking about that in here earlier, like in these bigger clusters in here. Where are they taking place? Remember we talked about the strong move in here. Okay, we're looking for strong move, and sellers consistent strong move to move price. Well, what if you just get strong volume but no strong move? Okay, that's what I'm talking about, where something's going on in here. Something's not right in the price action. It should be able to move price lower. Strong volume, but not a strong move. Okay, so that's where we can get this. We're getting this really back and forth in here. All right, so that's something to understand, and then you can also put that into a strategy in here. When you start to see that, like up in here, you can say like, well, they failed to move it above here, and you can look for the sellers to try to move it back in to the range and potentially to the other side of the range because it failed up here. Auction actually worked out here, but the move failed. And then the sellers will drive it back into this kind of mean reversion or this trading activity in here because it's failing outside, right? And you've got people on the hook here, right? This buying failed to move price higher. This selling failed to move price lower. Now this one's easier to answer your question. Why do you think it didn't go lower here. All right, this one's like, this is one of the beautiful things in Bookmap. What do you think, Pilar? You have no idea. Okay. Well, this is the ABCs here in Bookmap. I know you're new. You're brand new. So welcome, first off. Secondly, it didn't go through here, or it went into high liquidity here. Right? These are limit buy orders. This red bar here is very high liquidity. So what happened here is someone absorbed all of that selling pressure. And these sellers, you've got strong selling, but it failed to move it. It's because of someone's on the other side of the trade here with limit buys. All right. Now they failed to show up again here. Now you're getting your strong move, right? You see that strong selling bottom back down here. We do not see them in the order book here. And then you get your move. All right. So up in here, we have an iceberg of 7, but it's not much. Yeah, it just, we'd have to, let me zoom back into that area a little bit more to try to get a bit more insight. Time was that? Oh, I don't have the time. Okay, so again, look at this here, right? Now we have an iceberg here. Okay, we've been back and forth in this all day long. Okay, now we're looking for our sellers down here. Sellers, bottom edge. How's the auction going? Not looking good. Not looking good right now. Right? Look at that. Exhaustion, very little selling, followed by buyers in here. Okay, buyers can take it right back up into 97 or even back up in the top of the ranges in here. Okay, now we're getting a retest here. Let's see if they pick up here at 95. Okay, we do have 185, 89 contracts here. Okay, so we do have some liquidity here. Now these sellers need to trade into and through these limit buy orders. Now here they go. Let's look for it here. There they are. Okay, transacted. Now, do we have follow through? Do we still see more selling down below that area? Yeah. Okay. Have buyers been able to whip it back up, and does this fail? Maybe. Be really, this isn't looking so great right now. It's only gone 3 or 4 ticks. And these sellers can be upended by buyers. Okay, this can be that false breakdown. Again, like here's your cluster, right? In here. And it might fail. Okay, now, do we have again retest here? More sellers. No. Okay, here we go again. And let's see it, sellers. We get a little bit of selling here. It's so little. There we go. All right, now let's see if we can get the sellers now to push it into 93. No. So, it's tricky. This is kind of a little bit of a falling knife in here. And if you don't like it, then just don't, because we're down at the bottom edge here, so, we want to be careful. It has to look really, really clear. Or maybe you traded it from up in here. You saw the exhaustion and you're looking for the sellers to take it down, covered some, and then looking for continuation. So you're sitting pretty there, right? Whereas this level here is getting gamed in here. There's sellers, there's buyers, there's sellers, right? That's not giving us the clarity that we're looking for here. Okay, other times we saw it pretty clear. I think it was on this initial move down, I think we saw it pretty clear. We've gone through a lot today. There's a lot of stuff in here. And remember how we were looking for this, some of these levels in here, and it just went right through. Okay. And then we're looking for 90, which never transacted. Not yet, at least. Okay, but that was the ultimate target on this move down. All right, guys, we're way over our time limit. So let's wrap it up. Just wanted to answer your question there. We'll go through more examples in here, but we look for that strong, consistent move. And that's the kind of order flow, or at least price action, I should say, price volume action that we're looking for. And then you can look for your follow through, right? And if it's at the bottom of ranges only, that's not really helping us. We can see it happens all the time in here, getting upended, and then then it's a stop run to the other side, etc. All right. Yeah, Momo Mimi. Yeah, I mean, you can make money out of these kinds of markets, but it is tricky. I mean, like, you can look for the squeezes back into the range, take some off, or the one we've been looking at is the squeezes or the moves back up into here, top of the range, and then go with the bigger picture move to the downside, right? And then trying to hold and get more out of that move, right? But taking some off on the way down, right? So you can, and then, or you can just take a slow downs approach and just throw the towel in and say, like, it's not playing my game. It's not playing your game, then you don't have an edge. So look, you got to have your edge, right? So then it's just time to throw that towel in and look for something else. Look at another market. I don't know, whatever it might be. Stop trading altogether. Look at higher time frames, etc. All right, guys, thanks so much for coming. Sorry to go over like this. I don't like doing that, but I did want to answer some of your questions. All right, take care. I will be, well, tomorrow we have JTrader and stocks, and then we have Scott Pulcini in futures, who uses stops and icebergs heavily in his trading. So that's always a great insight there. He saw something and tweeted something yesterday. I don't know if you saw that. It was pretty interesting tweet about seeing something like, after the close of the market, like 10,000 buy icebergs. Okay, so you might want to ask him about that on Thursday, and how he looks at some of this information and data. Thanks, everybody. Take care. We'll catch up with you on Friday then. All right. Okay. Have a good day. Bye-bye.